Hi and welcome to this video where we're going to be looking at the QPSMR companion and just looking at some techniques you can use to do with copying and pasting and replacing text that you want to change. Now most of it's quite familiar and quite obvious to you for anybody who's used copying and pasting techniques in a spreadsheet or in a word processing package, but let's look at some of the things that are particularly important within QPS. So if we open up a question, you'll see that we've got all the tools you would need here for copying or cutting a question. So I could, if I wanted to, cut this question and I could paste it back down here, and the paste in QPS works by pasting it after the entry that you've chosen. If you want it before an entry, we could just cut that again, and you'll see if I highlight question 2, there's a paste before here, and that will paste it back before question 2. So that's copying and pasting questions. That's all pretty easy to do. You've got other tools in here to Control C and Control V will do the same thing, just like it will in a word processing piece of software. So if I copied question 1 as I did then and Control V down at question 5, it's going to ask me what I want to do with that. And I could have a duplicate question 1, which I'm going to call Q1X, and it will put it in there, the same question, so that if I wanted to edit the text, I could say, do you own a motorbike? And I could then have a series of questions about a motorbike. So that's how we can copy and paste questions that are similar without having to copy all the responses. And I'm again going to delete that just to tidy things up. In the responses section, again, I've got tools to copy and paste. So if we go here, again, I could just copy and paste these entries here. You'll see you've got tools here to do that, to highlight and copy and paste. So that's all perfectly possible to do. And you'll also find that when you're in the questions menu here, that you can copy questions into a variable so that you can put in subtotals and things like that. So if you've got a rating question that goes very good to very poor, it's quite common that you want a top 2 box of people who said very good or quite good, and you could paste the question into a variable and add in a response which was a top 2 box. Alright, so that's looking at copying and pasting questions and responses. You can also copy and paste questions from another questionnaire. So if we open up another questionnaire here, if we wanted question 9 from this questionnaire in the other survey here, I could just copy that, go back to my original project and just edit and paste that. So that's pasted it in there, and if I wanted that question, I could just go in there and rename it as question number 8. And it would let me put that in the questionnaire here. So here's question 9. I'm going to edit it. I'm going to rename it. And the name I'm going to use is question 8. And I'm going to apply that. And I've now got question 8 in here underneath question 7, but having copied the question from another survey or questionnaire. So you've got tools to do that. Now the other thing that I've got is the ability to copy responses from a Word document or a spreadsheet using copy and paste. So I could insert a new question entry in here called question 9. Let's make it single. What is your favourite brand? I can go to the responses here. Now if I've got my list in another document, so let's say it's in an Excel document, I could just copy this list, go back to QPS, paste it in there, and I have the brands that I had in my spreadsheet. None of these. If you wanted to reverse that order for some reason, you could paste them here and reverse them, but I'm going to click OK. And you can see now that the brands in my spreadsheet have jumped, as it were, into here, and I've added none of these to complete my question. So again, very easy tools if you want to copy from another document such as a spreadsheet or a Word document or something like that. All right, so let's look now at replacing texts. Let's say I have a questionnaire here. It's talking about bicycles in 3 or 4 questions. Let's say I wanted to edit that and change the word bicycle to motorbike. There's a replaced text function in here, so I could go text, find and replace. I could change bicycle to motorbike. I could just replace it, or I could see what effect it's going to have before I press the go button. And again, here I can choose what I apply it to, whether it's to entries, instructions, response text and base text, or everything, of course. So I'm going to preview it here. I haven't chosen any questions, so it's put a message up to me there, but I've chosen every question there, and you can see that the word bicycle will be replaced in questions 1, 3 and 5. If I want that, I can just go ahead and replace it, and I get 3 changes. And you can see now in my questionnaire I've got those changes. And let's say I want to change it back for those entries 1, 3 and 5. I can just go back here, find and replace, pick questions 1, 3 and 5 and change motorbike back to bicycle, and with a bit of luck that will replace those 3 entries back to bicycle as they were originally. So again, find and replace, just like other bits of software there, first of all warns you of what it's going to do and make sure you haven't changed it all the way through the questionnaire, allowing you to pick certain questions, but it allows you to apply it to whichever questions that you want to. Now the other thing you might want to do sometimes is apply a filter to a block of questions. So we might decide that, having set our questionnaire up, we only want to ask questions 2 through to 7 of people who said yes at question 1. So let's first of all insert a filter entry. I'm going to call it FQ1, and I'm going to do the shorthand method of Q101. Okay, so that's my filter, and now I want to apply that filter to all of those 7 questions there. So I can go into Edit, Apply Filters Block Update, select a filter from the list. Well, there's only one filter here, so it's picked that one for me, and you can see now it's applied that to questions 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and when I go back to my question worksheet, you can see that FQ1 has been applied to all of those. And of course there's a tool again to undo that if I didn't want that to happen or I've done it in error. So there's some tools for updating blocks of questions, and that completes this short video on copying and pasting and finding and replacing text.